Hello, my name is Sharita and my channel is College 101. This is part 2 in the college tips for high school seniors, well, high school students in general. Last week we talked about the importance of getting an education while you're in high school because it is free. Today we're going to continue along those same lines and talk about how you can earn college credit while you're in high school, okay? So, um, the advantages of this is that it costs less if you do this while you're in high school versus when you're in college. A lot of these courses, these college courses that you can take in high school are offered for free. If you do have to pay a fee, usually the fee is nominal compared to what you would pay if you were actually enrolled in college, okay? So some ways you can do this is to enroll in honors courses and take an AP, which stands for Advanced Placement. You can take an AP exam. You can also enroll in an honors course and take an IB. An IB stands for International Baccalaureate Exam. You could get dual credit, meaning you take an honors course in high school and you would receive college credit from a local university. Now, the college usually, in this case, the college usually decides whether or not they will accept the credit or not. So you want to be in contact with the college to see if it will be transferable. And usually the more selective the college is, the more selective they will be when it comes to the class. Other ways you can earn college credit in high school is just to take a college class at a nearby school, a nearby college while you're still in high school. You can earn articulated college credit for career and technical courses taken in high school. Basically, articulated college credit is just taking a college course from a technical or community college and you get credit for it. And it usually can be applied to your degree or certificate from that college in the future, okay? You can also take a CLEP test, which stands for a college level examination program. And with that, you will earn college credit regardless if you're actually enrolled in the course in high school. So basically with that one, if you think you have enough knowledge in a particular subject matter, you can try to take a CLEP test and see if you pass it, and if so, you can garner college credit for that. However, different schools, they do have different policies regarding the CLEP test. Now, keep in mind when you're taking these college level classes while you're in high school, there is a difference between a course counting as a college credit and a course actually counting toward your college major or your college degree. Say for instance, if you take Biology 101 or something of that nature, or AP biology in high school, and it's supposed to be transferable or translate to you having taken Biology 101 in college. Depending on the school, they may or may not accept it. They likely will accept it if you pass the AP test, but they may not accept it as credit specifically for the Biology 101 class. It might be accepted as a general credit, a general college credit, or which is known as an elective credit. There are different ways that colleges group their classes, and we will talk about it more probably in some future videos. But just as a general guideline, there are different classes that you take. You will take classes that are specifically for your major. You will take classes that are called general education classes, and you will take classes that will be what are called elective classes, which basically are classes of your choosing that you can take. Now, the collective of all these three types of classes do contribute to your college degree. However, the ones that contribute to your major are specific for that. So keep that in mind. You might be taking a college level class and you thinking it's going to count towards the actual major classes, your the classes for your major in college, but it might only count as an elective. And if anyone has any questions regarding that, because I know I kind of quickly went through it, just leave it in the comment section and I'll try to further clarify. But keep in mind, we will talk about that, the different college credits, in a later video. Okay. In AP classes, you basically will get the basic content level of someone who is taking the college level equivalent. However, in the dual credit classes, there are no national standards for that. Like, there's no national test that you take. Your grades are basically dependent on your professor or your teacher. But with the AP classes, there are national standards. You take the AP exam. So keep that in mind with the differences in how you can earn college credit. With the dual credit one, it's kind of dependent on the school and whether or not they will accept it. Also, some schools, they may limit the amount of classes that are transferable, the amount of college classes you took in high school. They may limit that number to how many are actually transferable and can actually apply to you in college. Okay. And also, if you're taking those classes at the technical and community colleges, keep in mind that even though you're getting that college credit is usually for that specific area. So usually at the technical schools or community colleges, say for instance, you're taking a college class in auto mechanics. Yes, you may receive college credit for it, but that's not going to be applicable to a 4-year degree. It's only going to be usually applicable to a technical school that has auto mechanics as one of their programs. So keep that in mind too for those technical and community college credits that you're getting while in high school. Usually those are very specific and they apply to specific schools with that program. Okay. So that brings me to the next point, where you want to make sure you check whatever college you're planning on going to, check in to make sure that these classes are going to be transferable. And most schools will let you know if they are. Most schools will have listed too what schools they are affiliated with, the high schools as well as the technical schools that they may be affiliated with, where the classes are transferable. If it's not listed, feel free to contact the school and find out if it's transferable. And you probably want to do this before you actually take the class, so you'll know what you're up against. And that's not to say don't take the class just because it's not going to count for college credit, because it very well could help you in the future, but at the same time, you don't want to think that that it's going to count for college level and then you find out later that it doesn't. So be in contact with the school or schools that you're thinking about going to, and when I say schools, I'm talking about the colleges that you're thinking about going to make sure that these credits are transferable. Okay. Also, some other little precautions. You want to make sure that if you're taking a good number of college level classes in high school, you want to make sure that you can actually enroll in college sophomore level classes. For instance, if you took AP English and that exempts you from having to take English 101, English 102, like I mentioned in the previous video, you want to make sure that you can actually enroll in the sophomore level English classes. And the reason I say this is usually the sophomores, they're already at school, they're registering for classes before you. The freshmen are the last people to register for classes, the entering freshmen. So the sophomores have already registered for their college level classes. So you want to make sure that you can still get into sophomore classes if you've already completed the freshman level work. And this is especially true for if you're going to a small school. It's true if you're probably going to a big school, but probably more so if you're going to a small school where classes are limited or they're only offered during limited periods of time. So check into that as well. Make sure that you can enroll in sophomore level classes. Now, a downside to that is keep in mind, when you are a freshman in college and you have taken a lot of these college courses in high school, Now you're basically going to be doing sophomore level material, and it's your freshman year. In the last video, I told you how college is definitely different from when you're in high school, studying wise, socially as well. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you feel that you are going to be ready to compete at the sophomore level, even though you are a freshman there. So keep that in mind, especially if you're taking a lot of college courses while you're in high school. Now, and that also goes to say with the next point, it says completing an AP course in high school shows that you've mastered college level content in a high school context. So basically what that's saying is that you've mastered college level material, but you are basically in a high school setting. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are able to master college level material, say if you were in the actual college setting. So keep that in mind, okay? Also, you want to make sure you get good grades. That kind of goes without saying. Try and get the highest grades as possible. Schools look at you more favorably. It affects your GPA, but you don't want to be piling on all these college level courses in high school and then your grades are affected by it, okay? Some other things to go over. If you do find that you are having some problems going on with your grades, or you feel like you're struggling in classes, identify these problems early, get tutoring, get help as early as possible. Don't just go through the whole semester struggling. Reach out and get help so you can start improving as soon as possible. Also, some other things that you can look into are some summer programs, and I'm not talking about summer school. There are some summer programs that you can attend, usually as like a junior and senior in high school, but you probably can take some of them earlier, freshman and sophomore, which can give you college experience. A lot of these programs are held on college campuses, and they kind of give you the experience of what it's like to be on a college campus, take college courses. The college courses might be taught by actual college professors, so you can get an idea of how it might be when you actually go to college. You get to see how the dorms are, you get to see how the campus is, especially if you go to one where it's one of the schools you might be interested in. So look into these summer programs that may be available. A couple of them are like Upward Bound Math and Science. So look into those and see what might be available for you, okay? And that is about it. And I kind of finished early. I'm looking at some of my other notes to see if there's anything else I would like to go over for you, but yeah. Okay, so since I have some time, I think I want to talk real quick about the importance of building relationships. It goes without saying, build relationships with your teachers, your coaches, any organizational advisors, your guidance counselor, the administration, that's the secretary, principal, whoever, even the janitor. I mean, just being nice to people, it definitely makes a difference, and people remember that. You don't want to be known as somebody who's always grumpy or rude to people. So build relationships with people, as well as people in the community, your church, whatever organizations you might be involved in the community, as well as in your jobs. High school, especially if you've been going to the same high school or going to the same schools in the area pretty much your whole life, this will be one of the easiest times to make and build those relationships, because most people will know you, and they'll know who you are. They probably know who your family is. So you want to make sure you make a favorable impression. Reach out to these people so they know what your goals are, and this comes in handy when it's time to get those letters of recommendation for college applications, as well as those summer programs I mentioned, because some of those do require letters of recommendation. So build strong relationships. Let everyone get to know you. And like I said, this is probably one of the easiest times, because a lot of these people you grew up with, or they know maybe one of your siblings or something like that. So build relationships. It can benefit you in the future. They can give you information about careers or jobs or even colleges that you might not have known about if you hadn't been in contact with those people. Okay? Alright, so next week I'm going to give you some tips about questions you should be asking your college guidance counselor, your high school guidance counselor, and I will be able to give you the high school outline of what you should be doing in high school, your freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Alright, so that is it for today. Once again, my name is Sharita and my channel is College 101, and I post videos every Tuesday. Alright, until then, take care.